Inside the FCS, back for another week. Samuel Akem joining us here on Nuanez Now, 102.9 ESPN Radio. Happy late birthday, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well, man. It was a good birthday weekend. We went to Glacier. Got to do going to the Sun Road. I don't know if you've ever done the Sun Road, but, yo, it's a little, scary.
It's definitely scary for sure, man. I've done going to the Sun Road many times, but I did it one time when I was probably like 12 years old. I have a cousin who's like way older than me. He's like 15 years older than me. And he came through and he picked me up, and we were driving in his like old school stick shift Subaru. And it was during spring runoff. And man, like the whole time I was like, we're going to fall off the road. This is totally unsafe, but beautiful this time of year, I'm sure. So that's awesome. You got to get away. So also some big news. You have been cranking out content for a couple years now and helping us out in a variety of different avenues, both at Skyline Sports as well as here at ESPN MT. But now you're doing it every day. So you got a new show. So this is cool. A couple days into this. So how's it been going? Samuel Akem Show officially live.
It's been good. Man, it's just so cool to see some of the avid listeners kind of change. Like I had a listener this morning comment in the chat, and they were like, "Hey, I shifted around my chores. It's Sammy time." And I love it. It's just like, I don't know, to grow a fan base, to grow an audience that, listens not only just to hear, me talk about the FCS and the Big Sky and the Cats and the Grizz, but also just to hear me, hear me talk. And that's how, I think you grow a true audience. So live every day from 6 to 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're talking all levels of football, but majority FCS football. But it's been good, man. It's been good.
Well, very cool. And I saw one of the clips you had today. You're talking Vikings quarterbacks. And this is just a shot to the heart because here's the deal. I know that Sam Darnold melted down the last two games of his time in Minnesota, that regular season finale against the Lions, and then in the playoffs the following week. Yep. And at that moment, I was heated and thinking, okay, they should let him walk. But then I kind of calmed down and was like, he's pretty good, man. Like he's a pretty good quarterback. And then of course he turns around and goes to Seattle and wins the Super Bowl. And now the Vikings have been lost in no man's land because J.J. McCarthy ain't it. Kirk Cousins got washed. Yep. And now all of a sudden they got a flyer on Kyler Murray. So I don't know. I actually think that my fandom for the Vikings aside, I think that's actually one of, if not the most interesting quarterback situations in the NFL. Because if Kyler Murray hits, like if Kevin O'Connell can fix him, like he has fixed so many other quarterbacks.
First overall pick, Heisman winner.
I mean, he's one of the great athletes in the world. Yeah. So like he could be a massive success. Also, though, if he flops, now what do you do? Because you've already brought him in and benched J.J. McCarthy. McCarthy was so on the struggle bus last year throughout the year. So I don't know. I just think they have such a compelling quarterback situation because I think it could go one of a very many different ways.
Well, it's the study of, does the small quarterback work? J.J. McCarthy, Kyler Murray, but can he figure it out? We will see.
We will definitely see. Okay, one last NFL thought before we get to some FCS. You are a recovering Cowboys fan. You've divorced the Cowboys.
Recovering.
But I know you still have it in your heart a little bit as an Oklahoma boy.
We talked Cowboys this morning.
And you have to. Here's our debate that we've been having in the office, though, because I'm trying to figure out, like, where do you actually rank Sam Darnold amongst quarterbacks in the NFL? And I think he's, like, right there in that same tier, maybe a little bit better than guys like Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield. Like, that's sort of like the area he's in. And we sort of have like a defined, like, here's the 7 guys that we would take over him for sure. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, guys like that.
I don't know if I'd take Jaden Daniels over Sam.
I don't know if I would either, right? And I think Darnold is right there.
I would take Dak Prescott over Sam Darnold if you're going to
this is the debate we've been having in the office here at ESPN, because I would take Sam Darnold over Dak Prescott. Fair. But I'm in the minority. Everybody else says you take Dak. Why do you think you take Dak?
I mean, man, like, Dak gets a bad rap because he's on the Cowboys. Dak gets a bad rep because, he hasn't necessarily got it done in the playoffs. They haven't had a ton of playoff opportunities, but when they have had playoff opportunities, they haven't been the prettiest for Dak. So I got to be fair there. But, I mean, the numbers, man, like, Dak is religiously putting up numbers. And man, I would say for a vast majority of his career, Dak has not been the problem. Now, maybe in the playoffs, Dak has been the problem. He's had some injuries. But, man, like, that dude puts up numbers. He's about to break, Romo's record? Like, he's breaking records with the Cowboys. Like, the dude has been playing at a high level since he's been in the league.
It's interesting because the knock is certainly that the playoffs. He's everybody's favorite fantasy football quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
But is he, what does it actually, what can he produce? He's only has 2 playoff wins. But one thing that I think is really interesting is a lot of times we criticize guys for their playoff wins or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times that's, like you're saying, it's not necessarily just on the quarterback.
It's a team stat.
If you look at this generation of quarterbacks, Dak Prescott 2 playoff wins. But guess who else only has 2 playoff wins? Baker Mayfield. Lamar Jackson has 3 now, but still, I mean, he's been around for 10 years now.
Yep.
I mean, they've been in the playoffs every year, and he's only won more than 1 playoff game in a playoffs one time in his whole career. Sam Darnold, the last year's 3 playoff wins were his first 3. But then, are you going to tell me a guy like Marcus Mariota is better than all these guys? I mean, Mariota's got 6 playoff wins. Is he better than Dak Prescott?
He was on the Titans. He was a backup on the Titans, so he was just racking up wins.
Exactly. I mean, Jared Goff has 5 playoff wins, but I guess it's not all defined by that. And I think the other thing that you have to remember is that when you have quarterbacks in your generation like Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, those guys just get all the playoff wins.
It's tough.
I mean, Mahomes got 17 and Rodgers has got 12. No one else has even close to that. Nobody has half that many. So
Mahomes has 17 playoff wins?
17 playoff wins. 17 and 4 in the playoffs.
How many wins does Brady have? Like 50?
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, shoot, they went to the AFC Championship game 14 times and went to the Super Bowl 10 times.
Gosh.
So, yeah, Brady
17?
17's a lot, for sure. No doubt.
Jewelry Design Center. We want to be your jeweler for life.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Right down the road.
All right, people are here for the FCS talk, so let's talk some FCS.
Yes.
Samuel Akem joining us here on Nuanez Now. We talked some over-under win totals last week. I want to get into some statistical over-unders here in just a little bit, but I wanted to ask you one thing. The preseason polls are now all out, not just stats, but everybody else's are out as well. And the Grizz are ranked number 2 in almost all of them. Montana State number 1, consensus basically across all the polls in the country. That's not surprising. They're the defending national champs. They take a 14-game winning streak into the season. But I thought there was like 3 options for who could be number 2. I thought South Dakota State and Illinois State and Montana were the 3 options to be number 2. But I thought that Montana would be 3rd or 4th in all these polls, but they're number 2 in most of them. Are you
Except for the Redshirt Sports.
Where's Redshirt have them?
Redshirt has them at 3.
Yeah.
I put them at 3 in my poll.
Yeah.
I vote in the Redshirt Sports poll. I put Montana at 3. I feel like South Dakota State is the biggest challenger to Montana State. You think about the team, and I've talked about this in nauseam. You think about the team that beat Montana State last year. It was South Dakota State. They return a ton of the talent from that team, and they've honestly added a few pieces. They got a new defensive end who's going to be a very, very good player. They added a running back from the D2 who's going to be a good player. Lofton Ogroski's fully healthy, who's already a really good player. I don't know. I just feel like from a full team perspective, defensively, offensively, I like what South Dakota State has to offer against the Montana State better than what I like Montana has to offer for a Montana State at this moment. We obviously haven't seen Montana's full defense yet and what they're going to look like on the field, but I like the pieces that South Dakota State has. On the Illinois State point, and I dropped a clip about this earlier this week, I am not sold. Why? You give me a good explanation, Colter. Why is Illinois State a top 4 team right now?
Well, I think you look at some of the guys they return on defense, and I think they have a chance to be pretty good on defense.
Ty Niekamp, the returning Missouri Valley Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, he is arguably one of, if not the best defensive players in the country.
Absolutely.
They got great continuity there, obviously, because his father, Travis Niekamp, is
his brother
coordinator. His brother is an up-and-comer. I mean, I was actually surprised they were able to hang on to his brother. I thought he might be a guy that transferred because he's got a lot. He's got FBS type of talent and measurables and stuff. I believe they got one of their corners and one of the safeties back too.
Yep.
They were both good players in the secondary. So I think you start there. I also think you start with the coach. Brock Speck is a proven winner, and I mean they've been pretty good, most of the time. And when he has dudes, they're really good. But then I totally see the other side of it too. Tommy Rittenhouse was a multi-year starter at quarterback, and he's not there anymore. I don't know who their quarterback is going to be.
Yep.
Daniel Sapkowitz is a 4-year starter at receiver. He's not there anymore. He made the NFL, right? Did he?
He's with the Texans right now. He's in training camp with the Texans. We'll see what that looks like. But
what do you think his NFL prospects are?
He's not the fastest guy. He's a good route runner. He's a possession receiver. I don't know. He's in a thick receiving room in the Texans. I think he can certainly make a practice squad this year. But, I mean, they've got 2 Iowa State guys. They got Tank Dell coming back. They got Nico Collins. I mean, they got a lot of guys in that room who are going to want targets and who are going to be higher on the list. And I was actually talking about this morning, talking about a receiver that had a good day for the Cowboys. And it's just like you start looking around on NFL rosters. Most teams keep 5 to 6 guys. When you start really doing the math, it is really – and that's why undrafted free agents making the roster and making the team is just – it should be celebrated and it should be seen as a feat because it's so hard. So, I mean, that's what Daniel Sapkowitz is faced with right now, and he can certainly make the roster. I think it's more likely that he goes practice squad this year and then kind of earns a spot. Maybe he gets activated throughout the year. Maybe he has a good game. But I think he's a practice squad potential guy for now. We'll see. But, it's thick everywhere. It's hard to make a roster.
Yeah. Back to your question, though. Samuel Akem here on Nuanez Now. Why should Illinois State be in the top 5? I think that just comes down to what they did last year, but more importantly, what people think or don't think about the rest of that conference.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody is on the same page that South Dakota State is the favorite in the Missouri Valley and that they are the best team in that league.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very up for grabs who the second best team is. Like, I think the second best team in the Missouri Valley deserves to be ranked in the top 5 or the top 6. And I think that people just think that that's Illinois State because they don't trust North Dakota and they don't trust Youngstown State. I think on paper, probably North Dakota and Youngstown State do return better rosters, but Illinois State was better than both those teams last year. So,
absolutely. Here's my question. Here's my question with Illinois State, and this is where I kind of got in a crossroads when I was having the discussion about Illinois State as well. Are we sure that we're going to get playoff Illinois State throughout the regular season this year, or are they going to be regular season Illinois State?
It's a great question.
Because those are two – we both can agree those are two completely different football teams.
Oh, I mean, they rolled over and died in their final game of the year. I mean, they got rolled up on by Southern Illinois, and they're like dead in the water. There are a lot of people think that they shouldn't have made the playoffs.
What are we talking about?
But then they figured it out and went on one of the great runs that we've seen. Honestly, their run last year, though, made me happy because it reminded me of the old school FCS. It used to just be like, okay – it's not necessarily about this full body of work. It's about how well are you playing down the stretch.
November and
Can
December.
you get hot, right?
Yep.
And this used to be why, like, Bobby Halka was so good at that his first tenure, getting his teams to be rolling when it was November and December. But, I mean, we saw Villanova win a national championship like that. We saw Richmond win a national championship like that. That Illinois State team reminded me of those teams, Like that Richmond team is very much like Illinois State was last year, where they went 8-3. They lost their season finale. But then they got hot in the playoffs and rolled all the way to the national championship. So it reminded me of the old school FCS because the last 15 years has just been nothing but
who's the 1-2
juggernaut.
Seed? They're gonna probably make it and win it.
Yeah, North Dakota State wins 14 games and they sit at home for the entire playoffs and they just chew people up and spit them out like they did for so long. But not in the subdivision anymore, so I think that opens some doors, no doubt. We did some over-under win totals last week in terms of Montana State, UC Davis. We got to Idaho State, Idaho. The one team that we left out, we didn't mean to leave them out, we just ran out of time, was Northern Arizona.
Yep.
NAU is an interesting one this year because they don't have that – even though they're in a relatively big market, they don't have that much media coverage, and they have a fan base that just is kind of – how do you say this? They don't scrutinize the team that much. Like,
no.
If NAU's good, that's great. And there's
we don't even have any media or any fan podcast. Even Northern Colorado has a fan podcast.
Totally right. And it's been such an interesting deal because we tried to cover NAU at Skyline all these years, and even when they had Case Cookus and Emmanuel Butler and stuff like that, Tim Plow was such a great interview. Andy Thompson was there, and he was a great interview too. Our NAU stuff was kind of negligible in the terms of exposure that it would get. But that's what I think is the fascinating part of this storyline, though, is year one under Brian Wright, they go to the playoffs. Year two, they don't. And but they didn't get hardly any scrutiny for that. But that should have been something that's scrutinized. Like, that team should have been in the playoffs last year, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So what do you think of them coming into this year? How do they get back on track? How do they become a playoff team?
You got to win the games that you're supposed to win, first and foremost. Like, I'd have to pull up NAU's football schedule from last year, but I know they probably lost a game or two that they probably shouldn't have lost. And that's ultimately, I mean, we both know, it's the difference between, one game here or there. Like, I was looking at Austin Peay last year. Austin Peay had a chance to beat Tarleton State in the season finale on a game-winning touchdown pass where Chris Parson was short, or actually he airmailed it out of bounds, and they lost. They were going for two, trying to win it on the road. They win that game. They're 8-4. They make the playoffs. They lost that game. They finished 7-5. They did not make the playoffs. Things like that matter. You start to look at NAU's schedule. Who did NAU lose to to finish the regular season, Colter? They lost 48-28 to Weber State. You win that game, you're in the dance. So to me, it comes down to a situation where just win the games you're supposed to win. Are you supposed to beat UC Davis? No. Are you supposed to beat Montana State? No. Are you supposed to beat Arizona State? No. Are you supposed to beat Idaho? Yes. Are you supposed to beat Weber State? Yes. Like last year, you look at their schedule, this is a perfect made schedule based on how the teams were. We obviously, hindsight is 2020. We know how all these teams were. Based on how all those teams were, you beat Idaho, you beat Weber State, you might damn near be a top 16 seed. So
for sure. Well, that's the thing is if you beat Idaho State, beat Weber, and you go 9-3, you are a top 16 seed. You're arguably a top 10 seed.
Yep.
I mean, because your two losses would be to two of the top 5 seeded teams in the playoffs.
Yep.
In
so
Montana.
looking at it this year, sorry to cut you off.
No, it's good.
Win the games that you're supposed to win. You're not supposed to win Arizona. Incarnate Word, that might be a tough one. But everybody else, Montana State, you're probably not going to win that. And then we can give them Montana. They get Montana at home, but, that might be a loss. That's 4 losses right there. Everything else, you should win. So 8-4, you're in the playoffs if you get to 8-4.
And to me, I look at this and I see, like, I want to put the over-under at 7.5. And the reason I put it at 7.5 is because I agree with you. I think that they have, probably 4 losses between Incarnate Word, Arizona, Montana State, Montana. But then the coin flip game is when they go to Cedar City. The Idaho State is another one, but I think when they go to Cedar City in southern Utah, and then I think when they go to Pocatello, those are the two that are tougher than people want to believe. Road trips. First of all, because it's hard to get to those places. Pocatello, Idaho State draws decently well. Like they'll be a good crowd there because NAU will be a top 25 team probably when they roll in there.
Fans show up.
But the Southern Utah game, people forget this, but Southern Utah and Northern Arizona are old rivals. They've been playing for a trophy for years, even when they weren't in the same league, because those towns are not very far apart.
Nope.
So there will be a good crowd there in Southern Utah. Southern Utah, I think, to me, Southern Utah, I'm not going to call them the dark horse, but I think that they're the spoiler in the Big Sky this year. Because they could definitely go win 3, 4, 5 league games. If they get to 5 league wins, that will mean they have beaten one of the 5 good teams.
They were 7-5 last year, man, in the UAC.
Exactly.
So, they play good ball, man. They're a good football squad. And the thing that gets me, not only are they bringing in a San Jose State running back who's had over 690 yards in 2 seasons in 2023 and 2024. He was with an injury last year, so he redshirted. But Southern Utah is a school, and I talk about this every time we bring them up. Colter, they run the football. That is detrimental for anybody if you're not able to stop the run. So they're going to be trouble for everybody.
The local dispensary in Mercantile offers the most high-quality products you'll find anywhere in Montana. The local only carries products that are created by local businesses or owners of the store. The Missoula-born and raised owners want to ensure a relaxed atmosphere with professional service at a customer-friendly price. The service is deli-style, so you can smell and see the product before you purchase. The owners are also farmers and have been cultivating green goodness for a combined 34 years. Swing by the local in East Missoula or downtown on the corner of Front and Orange where there's free parking. Keep it local.
1959, at Street's Grocery in Whitefish, Montana's special spice was born. Alpine Touch. It's the taste you grew up with, well seasoned through the test of time. As the tradition carries from one Montana generation to the next. From its humble beginnings to a trusted brand, here's to the next 60 years. Alpine Touch. Montana's special spice since 1959.
Inside the FCS, probably presented by Paradise Falls of Missoula. Paradise Falls, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Football season right around the corner. If you want to watch anything from high school prep football around the state of Montana to college football to the NFL. Paradise Falls will have it on for you. Check them out on Brook Street, 3621 Brooks, Paradise Falls, Missoula's coolest hotspot. So if I set it at 7.5 for NAU, you taking the over or the under?
I'll take the over. I think they can get Idaho State. I think they can get Southern Utah. You say the swing game is Southern Utah. I really see the swing game as Idaho State because if the Big Sky is to get into 4 or 5 playoff teams, that game between Idaho State and NAU might be the decider on whether the Big Sky gets 4 or 5 teams in. I think 4 because of that fact that both of them have to play each other, and I think they would be the 4th or 5th teams from the conference to get in. I think UC Davis is a lock. I think Montana State's a lock. I think Montana's a lock. But NAU, Idaho State are the other 2 that people look at. Now, obviously, this could change once games start being played and we start to see what things look like. But I see that Idaho State game as the swing game, but I see 8 nonetheless on their schedule.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the over as well, but I also know that we both took the over for Idaho State too. So now I'm trying to figure out, because the winner, I agree with you. I think the winner of that game is going to have playoff positioning, but then I think for either of those 2 teams to get to 8, they're going to have to beat somebody else because they're going to lose.
Incarnate Word.
Right? The Incarnate Word game for NAU is
get it at home. They get it at home as well.
Yep. But I just think if you have a 3-year starter at quarterback who has been in the system even since before he got to NAU during his time at Pitt State with Brian Wright, the fact that those 2, we sat down with Ty Pennington. You can check that interview out on our YouTube channels. He's a very smart young man, you can tell. And you can tell there's a lot of trust with him and Wright, too. So I think that they have a chance to be very diverse offensively. And the other part is you just never know when NAU is just going to steal one at home. The fact that they get the Grizz down there, the Grizz will be favored by double digits in that game. But we've seen every team in the conference go down to NAU and have a stinker at some point, right?
It's hard to win, man.
The last 2 times the Cats have been down there, they've had to pull it. I guess last time they were down early and then they avalanched them. Taco Dowler had the 90-yard punt return and that sort of
Jabez Woods 70-yard touchdown.
Right. But then the 2 times ago in 2022, the Cats had to pull it out. They needed a 65-yard Hail Mary to Taco Dowler into then 45-yard field goal at the buzzer to win. And that was an NAU team that was that was Chris Ball's last year there. That was not a very good team. And Montana State still had to pull it out. So that, like they always say, weird stuff happens at the Sky Dome. So
it does, man. The altitude gets you, man, and then your brain gets foggy, and you can't think straight, and it's just everything goes to crap.
So you believe that, right? You played down there. You could feel it.
It's real. So not only in northern Arizona, you said they're not far from each other. Cedar City is the same way. I'll never forget. I've told this story before. We got down to Cedar City and Coach Houck and Coach Pease, they don't, they'll stress some things, but they don't always stress everything. And I was a young guy. I was a redshirt sophomore. And I remember we went down to Southern Utah and we get done with our first drive. I'm like, Coach, we didn't talk altitude at all this week. He's like, Coach Pease we don't need to talk altitude. Just go out there and play. And I'm like, Coach, it matters. I'm out here. I'm wondering why I'm breathing so hard, why my chest feels this way. I'm dead. And it's because we're at such high elevation. And I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's interesting. My family's from down there, actually. My parents are from Sedona, Arizona, and I got altitude sickness one time.
Sedona.
When we went there because of, we went hiking up the snow bowl that's in Flag, and it was, that's where the Olympic Training Center is at. It's 9,500 feet above the sea level. And yeah, my brain felt like it's in a fishbowl. You're all disoriented. It's definitely a real thing, but some people think it's not real though. So I don't know. I don't know if real.
It's real.
Interesting. Okay, last one on the Big Sky. Then I want to do a couple over-unders for teams outside the Big Sky. How about Southern Utah? Their schedule looks like this. They open with Montana in Missoula. Then they play Weber State, which is a little bit of a rivalry renewed there as well. Yeah. Play Colorado State, so I think you probably chalk that one up as an FCS loss.
I wouldn't chalk that up because
really,
who had them on the ropes last year? It was somebody.
Northern Colorado did.
Northern Colorado had them on the ropes, and it was a bogus call.
There was that terrible call. Yes, gosh, I was thinking about that the other day. If that call is made against another one of the programs in the league, let's say that happened to Sac State or Portland State, or or even Idaho State with a coach that has a lot of bravado. That coach is going ballistic.
Oh, he's getting fined. He might get suspended for the next week.
Ed Lamb's the classiest guy, so he just kind of let it lie. But man, yeah, I mean, Bobby Hauck even would have gone crazy about,
Oh my gosh.
about that call. Anyways, you're right. Colorado State was on the ropes to Northern Colorado, so maybe it's not a shoe-in game.
St. Thomas, Idaho. I mean, what are we putting over under at? What are we putting over under at?
I mean, let's just go through it real quick. So, I mean, in Missoula, I think you go lost, but Weber State, I'd say win. Colorado State, we'll put it at a coin flip, but then
I
St.
lean
Thomas.
Colorado State. I do lean Colorado State, even though I'm saying
so,
it's not a shoe-in though.
Okay, so let's say they're 2-2 coming out of coming into conference play, and then they got Idaho State in Cedar City. I put that at a coin flip. Utah Tech, that's a win. So now let's just say 3-3. UC Davis, now you're 3-4. Idaho,
4-4.
Probably another coin flip, but probably they win that 4-4. Then you got NAU. That's another game that's going to have playoff ramifications, I think. Northern Colorado win, Portland State win, Chicago State win. So there's 3 more. So I think that basically you're saying they're going to have 6 to 7 wins with NAU, Idaho, and Idaho State being your 3 coin flip games. So I mean, I think it's fair to say 6.5 for Southern Utah.
6.5, and I would take the over, man. I think they're a 7-5. I mean, they've been a 7-5 football team, man. They've just been 7-5.
I mean, they've been over 500 for 3 years in a row, right?
Yep.
So I think people maybe are underestimating.
They were 6-5 in 2023 and 7-5 in 24 and 25. So they are who they are.
They are who they are. Yeah. Here's the thing. On the Southern Utah note, we're going to dive into Southern Utah big time next week on all of our various channels because, of course, they're coming to Missoula.
Yes.
And I think that the vast majority of Grizz Nation sees Southern Utah on the schedule, and they're like, oh, yeah, night game Washington Grizz, we're going to be partying all night long. This is going to be a 49-14 type of deal.
No.
Again, like I always say, it's almost impossible to come beat the Grizz at home in a night game, but
think Montana, Missouri State.
It's going to be a competitive game, right?
Oh, yeah. I think, like I said, I think Montana, Missouri State, night game to open the season, excitement's high, but it is nowhere near a shoe-in or an easy win. It's going to be a battle. You're going to have to fight for 48 how much time is on the clock? For 60 minutes. I mean, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a dogfight, and I don't think they're going to roll over. Now, does Montana certainly have a great advantage being at home? Absolutely. Is the home crowd going to be behind them? Absolutely. But, given, and I keep coming back to this, Southern Utah can run the ball. Therefore, they can control the game. And if Montana struggles stopping the run, it's going to be a long day for them, man. Very long night.
Yes, no doubt. Samuel Akem inside the FCS here on Nuanez Down, 102.9 ESPN Radio. We're still going to get to our over-unders for some of the statistics, but we'll get to that next week, and that'll be fun during game week, certainly.
Yes.
But be sure to check out all of our channels because we've got some fun stuff coming up, including what we're about to dive into and record right now. You can check this out as a collaborative on our various YouTube channels. We'll also play clips here on ESPN Radio. But we're doing the top 25 players in the Big Sky Conference. So stay tuned for that. We'll have that up here a little bit later on here this week. But for now, when it comes to our radio audience, Samuel Akem inside the FCS, probably presented by Paradise Falls. Thanks for doing it, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Town & Country Foods is proud of its tradition of providing excellent customer service and quality groceries at an affordable price. Town & Country Foods is proud to be locally owned and operated across the state of Montana, and they are proud to support Montana State Athletics. Town & Country Foods is 100% employee-owned, and they have 9 locations serving towns throughout Montana. Town & Country Foods is in Bozeman, Belgrade, Helena, Livingston, Lewistown, Billings, and in Dillon. Their focus is on great food at a great price with a huge selection of organic and natural foods. For more information, visit tncfoods.com.